Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review. Brought to you by First NBC Bank with 31 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNola.com. It was a 3-for-3 weekend for football teams. What a great weekend indeed. It started with Tulane with a very good victory, 14-7 over Tulsa, a regular antagonist of the Green Wave. But Lenny was a familiar formula. Don't make mistakes on offense. They made one but got away with it. Force turnovers and play good defense and make enough plays to win.
Yeah, great defense, in fact. Forcing 4 turnovers. The only Tulsa touchdown was a 5-yard drive, and it took them 4 plays to do it. They had to score on a 4th down run, the only touchdown of the game. Devin Powell again in Nick Montana's stead, who's still out with the shoulder injury, perhaps back this week, didn't get Tulane beat. Yeah, he did make a couple of mistakes, but nothing that ended up being too costly. The one interception set Tulsa up at the 5-yard line. A second interception, it was basically like a glorified punt in that situation and backed Tulsa up for one last chance, which they couldn't do anything with. And here it is. It's October the 28th, and Tulane is bowl eligible for the first time in 11 years with 4 games to play. And there are still bigger fish to fry in this thing because they are one of 2 unbeaten teams in Conference USA. And who would have thought that Saturday after Thanksgiving at Rice could be for a division championship and perhaps the right to host the conference championship game?
Yeah, even more ironic, Tulane and Rice. These are not football powers. These are academic institutions. And to be setting up to play out like it looks like it's going to play out is remarkable. Okay, the bowl scenario, Lenny. I mean, obviously, everyone is anticipating and hoping they can play ULL and R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. But, again, they're moving up the ladder. They have a chance to do much more.
Yeah, I think the situation that you might consider is this. A division championship would be great. And if that happens, Tulane's playing in a conference championship game, perhaps at home on Saturday, December 7th. And what that may do is it may take Tulane out of the mix for the New Orleans Bowl if that happens, because the New Orleans Bowl is one of the first ones on the calendar for Conference USA teams, and they may end up, because that would be such a quick turnaround, whether they're in or they're not in, they may want to get that position aligned before that conference championship game is set. So just throwing it out there. I do not have inside information on that, but that is one thing to consider, just how the calendar is set up, and that the New Orleans Bowl this year is only 2 weeks after those conference championship games. And remember this, if you're Tulane, okay, and you haven't done this in 11 years, one of the great advantages of a bowl game is the chance to get those 15 extra practices for those younger players to help build your program for the next year. You only got 2 weeks. You're not going to get in 15 practices. And you've also got final exams in there for Tulane, which are obviously a big deal. So just keep that in mind. Now, if Tulane does not win a division championship, if Rice does, then I think you would certainly be right on target there.
Much more to talk about. LSU beating Furman. Ho-hum came out flat, did not play well in the first half. Pick 6 hurt. They turned it on in the second half, did what they had to do. Nothing real encouraging here, but I don't know. It really didn't matter. You just had to win and get the week off and get ready to go to Tuscaloosa.
Exactly, and both LSU and Alabama with the week off. We got a lot of schools. This Saturday is really, other than Miami, Florida State, this is going to be a ho-hum Saturday in college football because you got a lot of huge games the weekend of November 7th and November 9th. That Thursday and Saturday is going to decide a lot of the college football landscape for the rest of the year. But this weekend, again, not much.
Not really. As far as the Saints are concerned, they started off very flat as well and really did not look good for most of the first half, but didn't matter because their defense held stead when their offense struggled, and then their offense found their game, and Drew Brees threw for 5 touchdowns, and they won by 18 points over the Bills.
Ho-hum. I mean, I tell you what, when you look back at the end, Drew Brees threw for 5 touchdowns. He did. You know, it did not seem like that kind of game, but, Brees setting an NFL record, his 8th 5-touchdown pass game, breaking a tie with Peyton Manning. He's 3rd on the list of games with at least 4 touchdowns. The guy's just remarkable. He continues to put up amazing numbers. Went over the 48,000-yard mark for his career on Sunday. What else can you say? It's been a pleasure to be able to watch him for the last 8 years.
It really has. On to the Meadowlands to play the Jets this coming weekend. Jets got swamped, so they'll be motivated. We'll see how that works out. The New Orleans Pelicans open their season Wednesday night at home against a familiar face in David West. And the Indiana Pacers, in fact, a team in my mind that has the best chance to unseat the Miami Heat. The Pacers are good. This will provide a very good test and barometer for the Pelicans early.
Absolutely. You'll find out, it's a good early season schedule with a lot of, some opportunities to get wins, but also some opportunities to be tested, most notably Wednesday night.
And last but not least, really strange World Series, evenly played thus far, 2-2, but strange stuff. Lenny, there's been good pitching, but what really stands out in this World Series thus far are the mistakes by both teams. Games are being lost, not won. Johnny Gomes' 3-run homer notwithstanding. Bottom line is that there are just mistakes being made on both sides that are uncharacteristic at this stage of the season.
You would think so, but the great thing, and you're a baseball purist just as I am, one of the appealing things of baseball is that you tune into a game and you may see something that you've never seen before, and we've seen that in the last 2 nights. We saw walk-off obstruction on Saturday night.
Good call.
And a walk-off pickoff last night.
Bad move.
Bad base running. Yeah, how do you get picked off when you've got
the time running?
Oh, by the way, a guy who's got 16 postseason home runs at the plate. I don't get it. You
standing on first base.
Exactly. Why move? Where are you going? What are you going to do? So, but that's hey, that's baseball, as they say.
Here's what it's all about. Some guys can handle a stage, and some can't. It's really that simple. And we'll see if it gets better. It has been compelling, to say the least. So a busy time in sports, Lenny. Is always a pleasure. Thanks very much.
We'll see you later this week.
Don't forget Sports Noah TV Monday night 6 p.m. on WHNO Channel 20. Ricky Jackson, Torrance Small, Brian Alley Walsh, and myself to break it all down. That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 31 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great week, and God bless.